Morning, dear learners. Welcome to teaching learning session of sociology. Today we will discuss structure and change, factors and dynamics, block 3, unit 7 of DSOE 146. Family. As we discussed in our previous lecture, that family is a universal and the basic institution, social institution, because it is found everywhere. We find family everywhere. It is a universal institution and a social institution. Institution, why institution? It's an institution because there are certain rules and norms which every member of a family should follow. The family is a system of an ideal because it serves as a guide to the behavior and as a values or set of norms that are passed down from generation to generation. There are certain norms, there are certain guides for the behavior, how the member of a family should behave, agent. So we learn how to behave in a society from a family. That's why we call it a institution, because this set of norms passes from generation to generation. Mating, procreation, and the associated activities of child rearing necessitize the personal closeness, habitation, and the same dwelling and cooperation of the member in the provision of the domestic services. The main activity of the family is procreation, mating, and child rearing. And to carry out these activities, it is required that the members of the family should cohabitate. They should live in a same household. They should follow certain rules, certain values, norms. There is a set pattern of their behavior. Family is a universal and the basic institution. Families may own property and engage in economic production simultaneously. Economic and social forces have brought about changes in the specific characteristics of a family. As a family, see, we consider the person, the people who are living in the same household, who are eating the food cooked in the same kitchen, right? They share the property and they all are engaged in the economic activities and help each other. We call those person as a family. But because of certain social forces, because of certain economic and political forces, these forces brought the changes in the specific characteristics of a family, right? Because of the economic forces, because of the political forces, because of the other forces, social forces, the size, the composition, and the behavior of member of family have changed over a period of time. Types, there are various types of the family, and we can classify the family on the basis of the size and composition of the family, on the basis of the generation, and on the basis of the membership, right? Well, so on the basis how we can classify family on size and composition. See, on the basis of size and composition, there are families. First, we'll start with the nuclear family. Nuclear family is the most basic form of a family found all across the world. What is nuclear family? Nuclear family consists of a husband, a wife, and their unmarried offsprings or the children. So, nuclear family is made up of husband, a wife, and unmarried children. This is nuclear family is the basic unit of the family, and family size is very small because it includes husband, wife, and their unmarried children. It is a self contained autonomous unit. Its components are orientation and procreation. The second type of family on the basis of size and composition, the first type of family was the nuclear family. The second type is conjugal family. What is conjugal family? Family comprising of a husband, wife who have been married for a long time with or without children. The composition of family is smaller than the joint family. So, husband, wife, and who have been married for a long time, whether they have a children or not, they form a conjugal family. Next type of a family is extended or joint family. This type of family is larger in size than the nuclear family. It's also possible to have more than one nuclear families in a joint family. This is most prevalent sort of Hindu joint family. See, what is joint family? Joint family consists of more than one nuclear family, like husband, wife, their children, that are husband, wife, their children, and the brother of husband and his wife and his children. When they live together, it forms a joint family, and it is the most common form of Hindu joint family, like father, mother, their sons, wives, unmarried daughters, grandchildren, grandfathers, uncles, aunts, and their children, fathers, parallel cousins, and their offspring, and so make up this family. Means husband, wife, their children, right? Their sons, wives of their sons, then their daughters, their grandchildren, their grandparents, right? Uncles, aunts, and their children form a joint family. The size of this family is larger than the nuclear family. Nuclear family consists of a husband, wife, and their unmarried offsprings. Joint family consists of more than one nuclear families, that is the husband, wife, their offsprings, right? And their offsprings, as well as the uncles, aunts, then the wives of their sons. All these are all they compose a joint family. Then we can divide the family on the basis of the generation principle. What is generation principle? Depending on upon the number of generation of member comprising the family, it is classified into two or three generation family. That is on the basis of generation, those who are residing together, on the basis of the number of generation living or the members of the generation living together. This is known as the generation principle. It could be two generation or the three generation. In simple society, family could be up to four generation, tracing backward from great grandfather, father, son, and the grandson. Two generation family. This consists of member from the two generations. That is father, mother, and their children, or mother and daughter, father and son. This is two generation family, means the members from the two generation, that is the father, mother, and their children, or these are the two generation, fathers first generation and children second generation, or mother or daughter and father and or mother and daughter, or father and son, right? Murdoch described the nuclear family as a two generation family made up of mother, father, and their children. Such kind can be found in hunter-gatherer and the industrial societies. So, a two-generation family, according to Murdoch, two-generation family is like a nuclear family which consists of mother, father, and their children, right? And these type of families are found in industrial society as well as in hunter-gathering societies, right? Next is the three generation family. Three generation family, the extended family consisting of members from the three generation. That is grandfather, father, and his brothers and their children in patrilineal society. So this is three generation family. That is grandfather, then father, and his brother and their children. Right? Grandmother, mother, and daughter form a unit in the matrilineal society. In patrilineal society, that is grandfather, father, and then grandson. That is the three generation family. In matrilineal society, it is grandmother, mother, and then the daughter forms a matrilineal society, right? In matrilineal society, that is the three generation society. Then on the membership, on the basis of membership, we divide the family. Membership assigned to the group. Murdoch classified families into two types. That on the basis of membership, Murdoch classified families into two types. That is family of orientation. A family in which one is born. The family serves to social status to the children and plays an important part in socialization. This is understanding of a family from the perspective of the children. So, membership on the base we can divide the family, or there is that we divide. We discuss the there are the three types of the family on the basis of the size, on the basis of the generation, and on the basis of the membership. Basis Murdoch. Murdoch classified membership into two. That is the family of orientation. Family of orientation where child is born, right? And this family plays an important role in the life of our children because family act as a socializing agent. It helps the child, or it helps the child to learn how to socialize, how to behave in this society. So it is the important part of the family is socialization. And this is the understanding of a family from the perspective of the children. Second is family of procreation. So that was the family of orientation where child is born, and family of procreation, a marriage based family, is referred to as a procreation family or family of procreation. The family function to produce and socialize children. When individuals grow up and marry, they initiate the formation of a family through copulation and procreation. So, on the basis of membership, Murdoch divided the families into two: family of orientation where child is born, and this family helps in socializing or help act as a socializing agent. Second type of family according to Murdoch is family of procreation. What is the family of procreation? This is a marriage-based family, right? In this, the function of this family, that is the function of procreation family, is to produce and socialize the children, right? That is when the children grow up, when they marry, they initiate the formation of a new family. This is family of procreation. So we can divide the family according to the size, that is the nuclear family, conjugal family, and the joint family. Then according to the generation, two generation family, three generation family. Then according to a membership, that is family of orientation or family of procreation, right? Variations in the structure of the family. There are the variations in the structure of the family. Why there are these variations in the structure of the family? It can be understood at the two levels. First, at the level of authority, there could be variation in the structure of the family. It could be at the two level. The first level is at the level of authority, whether the authority is in the hand of a man or a woman, and the second in term of the authority structure, that is the kinship relationship between the member residing together, right? So there is a structure, there is a variation in the structure, and we can discuss the variation in structure on two bases. The first is on the level of authority, and second on the authority structure. The most common structure used in anthropology to understand the nature of change in family is joint and the nuclear family. What is authority structure? Authority structure within the family differs from society to society and largely determined by the line of descent. On the basis of two type of family can be identified, that is the patriarchal society or patrilineal society or matrilineal or matrilineal society, right? So authority structure actually depends on the it is decided on the basis of the lineage, on the basis of the line of descent, whether it's a patriarchal society or it's a matrilineal society. If it's a matrilineal society, then the authority lies in the hand of the women, or if it is a patrilineal society, the line of descent is patriarchal, then authority lies with men, right? Patrilineal or the patriarchal family. The patrilineal society is one which follows the unilineal principle of descent. It traced through the male line. In patrilineal society, the authority is in the hands of the eldest male member or the father, right? Patriarchal family is one where the paternal side holds all the power. When the power lies or the authority lies in the hands of the eldest male member of the family, then that is a patrilineal society, and all the authority in patrilineal society, all the power is held by the paternal side, right? The residing pattern in patrilineal society is patrilocal. We discussed about the what is patrilocal, what is matrilocal, what is neolocal. Patrilocal is when the newlywed couple resides with the groom's father or resides at the groom's place. That is the patrilocal residence, right? So patrilocal or very local, that is with the husband's relative, which leads a woman transiting from their maternal home to the marital family. The patriarchal family has existed in numerous forms. In some cases, in India, it is a part of a joint family. It's sometimes a stem family with one of the sons moving his family into the paternal home. So, in when the what is the patrilineal or patriarchal family, when the power or the authority is with the eldest male member of the family, right? In this type of the patrilineal society, if the residence pattern is patrilocal or virilocal, right? And it is basically found in the joint family and sometimes at the stem family, right? While what is matrilineal or matriarchal family? In society where the female line is used to trace their descent and property is likewise passed from female line of ancestry. This type is known as the matrilineal family. We discussed about the patrilineal and matrilineal families in our last lecture. Matriarchal family is a type of a family in which wife or mother is the chief authoritative figure. When the power lies with the female, right, then that is a matrilineal family. Women have the rights to perform the religious rite in these types of families, and the husband resides in the wife's home. That is, they reside when the husband moves to the wife's place. This is known as the matrilocal residence, right? In this, sometimes the name, property, and inheritance passed down through the female line in the matriarchal family, right? The Khasi and the Gond tribes of Assam and Meghalaya, as well as Nayars of Kerala, have this type of family. They follow the matrilineal type of a descent, that the Khasis and Gonds of Assam, Meghalaya, and the Nayars of Kerala follow these types of matrilineal type of society. right? Next is with this we discussed on the line of the descent. Now the organizational structure. The variation depend the variation is on the basis of the organizational structure, right? The nuclear family consists of the two generation of a family living in the same home, that is father and son, or mother and daughter, right? This is a nuclear family. The extended nuclear family was defined as a joint family. Therefore, joint family is an extension of a nuclear family horizontally or vertically, that is linear or collateral. When the nuclear family extended either horizontally or vertically, then it forms a joint family, right? The family becomes a joint when more relatives are added to the nuclear family. I hope this is clear. Nuclear family consists of a husband, wife, and their children. And when more relatives are added to this family, to this structure, then it is known as a joint family. The joint family includes nuclear family as well as the relatives living in the same household from the husband's or wife's side. It could be if it is a matrilineal society, then relatives from the wife's side could be there. If it is a patrilineal society, then the relatives from the husband side could be there. So, joint family includes the nuclear family plus some more relatives either from the husband side or from the mother's side or wife's side, right? Iravati Karve defined joint family as a corporate group. Iravati Karve extensively worked on the kinship, right? Iravati Karve is one of the best Indian anthropologists. Her work is she worked tremendously on kinship. Uh, she defined the joint family as a corporate group which help each other. A joint family, according to Iravati Karve, a joint family is a group of people who generally live under one roof. It means they share one household, who eat food cook, cooked in one kitchen, who hold property in common and participate in common family worship and are related to one another as some particular way. Joint family symbolizes a close bond between the members of a family. So, according to Iravati Karve, joint family is like a corporate group. Joint family is a group. It is a group of people who live together under one roof. They eat food cooked in a one kitchen. They follow same rituals. They share the common property, and they are related to each other in one way or another. There should be a bond between the members of the family. Then it is known as a joint family. There are certain characteristics of a joint family, like the joint family share the common residence, they share the joint kitchen, joint family is large in size and composition, affinal and consanguineal relatives are important, principle of seniority on age and gender, it matters a lot, distribution of responsibility on the basis of the position, mutual rights and obligations are there, and joint family is an economic unit of consumption, and common religious function and rituals. The members of the joint family follows the common religious rituals, and they attend the common religious functions, or they celebrate the functions together. These are the certain characteristics of joint family according to Iravati Karve. Factors for variation. Why there are the variation in the families? That is because of the monetization of the economy. Because of the monetization of the economy, there was a variation in the family structure, right? It is because of the shift from the barter exchange to exchange of goods and services through cash, diversification of occupational opportunities for employment in varied sphere, improvement in information and communication technology brought about changes in the economy and also impacted the structure of the family. So monetization played an important role. Monetization of economy was an outcome of the colonial policy, but it drastically transformed the initial Indian social structure. As we know, before the monetization of the economy, we follow the barter system, that is, exchange of material for another material for another thing. But because of the monetization of the economy, monetization means when there is exchange of goods through the cash, this impacted the structure of the Indian social structure. Apart from this monetization, that is diversification of the occupational opportunities because of the more occupational opportunities and improvement of information and technology played an important role in transforming the social Indian social structure. So, one of the factors which played an important role in transformation of the Indian social structure is the monetization of the economy. Next factor is industrialization and urbanization. Right, industrialization and urbanization played an important role in changing the social structure. Because of the industrialization, people moved to the urban area in search of the jobs, and when they moved from one place to another, usually this leads to the change in the social structure, especially the family structure. When they moved from when they moved from rural to the urban area, then it resulted in the formation of the nuclear families, right? So industrialization and urbanization played an important role. Apart from the monetization of the economy, Indian families' life pattern was seen from shifting as a result of two processes of industrialization and urbanization. The acculturation of urban lifestyle resulted from people migrating from rural to urban area to work in industries. Density of the people, heterogeneity of population, job diversity and specialization, and complex division of labor are hallmark of the urban living. Better access to the educational and healthcare institution is also a part of the plan. In addition to the lack of living spaces, urban life is characterized with impersonality and anonymity. A continuous movement from people into cities seeking education, job, medical treatment, and other services has occurred and partly resulted the pressure on the land. And due to the family members' transit from one location to another, residential separation has impact on the size and composition of the family. People move from one place to another, that is from the rural to the urban, because of the n number of reasons. It could be because of education, it could be because of employment, it could be because of medical reasons, or it could be because of any other reasons, right? When the people move from one place to the other, this transit of the location resulted in the residential separation, and this residential separation impacted the size and composition of the family. And this is one of this industrialization and urbanization is one of the reason for change in the social structure, or the change in the structure, right? Then social and cultural factors also impacted the size and composition of the family, like opportunities for the higher education. In the areas of education, all castes and communities has access to facilities. Some of them who were able to gain access and exposed to the English medium education, right? What does English medium education means? Means exposure to individualistic, liberal, and humanitarian ideas, began to question some of the rituals and traditional related to the child marriage, denial of women's education right, property right, and ill treatment of the widows. So it also impacted the social structure, that is social and cultural factors. Because of the education, people started questioning about the various rituals, about the child marriage, about the women's education right, about the property right, about the ill treatment of the widows. Educated young men not only desired to marry at far later age rather than the family tradition demanded, but they also wanted to marry women with some educational background. Uneducated or less educated women were anticipated to have a different kind of influence on the family matter than the educated women, right? So apart from the monetization, apart from the industrial and urbanization factor, cultural and social factor played an important role in variation of the structure. And apart from this, legislative measure and the government policies played an important role in changing the structure, that is the employment, education, marriage, and property laws have impacted the family system in a certain ways. The Indian Workmen Compensation Act 1923 and the Minimum Wages Act 1948 are both passed for the benefit of the employee, aims to decrease the economic reliance of members on the joint family for economic support. We discussed this economic support is the characteristic of a joint family, that there that in economic that economic support is one of the characteristics of joint family. So by passing the Minimum Wages Act 1948 and Indian Workmen Act Compensation Act 1923, these act aims to decrease the economic reliance of the member on the joint family for economic support so that they can earn well. The Hindu Games Learning Act of 1913 declared that the property acquired by Hindu as a result of his education was his personal property, even if his education has been paid by the joint family. Apart from the Indian Workmen Compensation Act, Minimum Wages Act 1948, the Hindu Games of Learning Act 1930 impacted the family structure, Indian family structure, because according to the Hindu Gains of Learning Act in 1930, if someone's acquire any of the land or the property because of his education, is was his personal property, not a property of a family. So it has been considered that it was an individual's property, right? In 1929, the Child Marriage Restraint Act was passed in order to prevent the child marriage. It determined the limit of the age for the boys and girls, that is 18 and 14 respectively. Now it has been changed to 21 and 18 respectively. So it also impacted the structure of Indian family, that is the Child Marriage Act. Post independence, the Hindu Succession Act 1956 was passed, giving a daughter and son equal rights of father's property. So, apart from the Compensation Act, Wages Act, Child Marriage Act, and Hindu Gains Learning Act, post independence in 1956, the Hindu Succession Act was passed. It is known as the Hindu Succession Act 1956. It gives the equal rights to daughter and son to their father's property. It also impacted the Indian family structure. These challenged the inheritance pattern that existed in the joint family before the acts enactment as well as the family dependence on the women. So this helped the women to be independent and this impacted the family structure. The other factors have been held responsible for encouraging smaller families are opportunities for higher education apart from the above mentioned factors, that is opportunities for higher education. Ambition plays an important role. Increased occupational mobility and a growing sense of individuality, that is thinking in terms of individual needs and ambitions rather than in terms of kinship needs and larger familial requirements. So, all these were the factors which were responsible for change in family structure, right? Opportunities for higher education, ambition, increased occupational mobility, various acts, right, impacted the style, social and cultural factors impacted, economic culture impacted, right? All these factors impacted the Indian family structure, right? There are various theories of change from joint to nuclear family. The first theory is evolutionary theory. The evolutionary theory of change in the family structure was summed up the work of men, ancient law 1861, where he argued for the change from status to contract. So this evolutionary theory, it is a gist of work of men, right? That transition, according to him, that transition from the status to contract was visualized as a shift in the institution of a marriage that is centered for family and kin, that is status of orientation to individual choice, that is contract orientation. That is, according to me, the transition is was visualized, that is shift in the institutions of the marriage centered on the family and kin, that is the status of orientation to individual choice. And evolution from status to contract was used by many thinkers to explain the emergence of the nuclear family. The joint family, based on the kin relation, give a way to nuclear family. The general theory of social evolution was used to explain the development of a nuclear family. Structure differentiation is a process that occurs during the evolution of the society. As a result, a number of new social institutions emerged, each specializing in a role. Many of the functions of the traditional family have been taken over by new specialized institutions such as schools, college, workplace, and hospitals in these conditions. This is aided in formation of the nuclear family, right? So evolutionary theory states that there is a change in the social structure that is there now. Because of the changes in the social structure, the new institutions came up and this these institution, many of the function, these institutions take up the many of the functions of the joint family, like institutions like schools, colleges, workplace. Uh, they take up the functions of the joint family, and they aided in the formation of the nuclear family. Because of the evolution of the society, the joint family breaks up into the nuclear family. This is known as the evolutionary theory, that because the society evolves from one phase to another phase, and because of this evolution, that is from status to individual, right, status to individual's choice to contract, there is an evolution, and this resulted in formation of the nuclear family, right? Theory of nuclearization, from joint to nuclear. Next theory is theory of nuclearization. The genesis of family nuclearization theory may be traced back to the start of industrial revolution, when the process of modernization impacted the structure of the family. Nuclearization of a family is considered as an outcome of its impact, such as interpretation presuppose of non-nuclear family. Industrialization and urbanization has altered the traditional family institution, which was described as a joint family, and led to the formation of a single nuclear family. According to the Talcott Parson, the emergence of the modern industrial society led to the growth of the isolated nuclear family, one which is structurally isolated because it's not a part of a larger kinship work group. So, according to the nuclearization theory, the urbanization and the industrial revolution played an important role in the nuclearization of the family. Right? This industrialization and urbanization has altered the traditional family system, right? And this led to the formation of the nuclear family. According to the Talcott Parson, the modern industrial society played an important role in growth of the isolated nuclear families, right? Then, according to the Angels, there was no family during the early days of communism, and promiscuity resigned dominant. With the development of the private property and state institutions, the monogamous nuclear family developed. The emergence of private property required to transfer to the legal heirs and the control female sexuality and assure the legitimate progeny, and the monogamous nuclear family evolved. Right? So nuclearization theory, according to the nuclearization theory, right, with the industrialization and this industrialization played and urbanization played an important role, right? According to the Talcott Parson, the industrial society led to the, because of the industrial society, people migrated from one place to another in search of the job, and it led to the growth of the isolated nuclear family. And according to the angels, there was a no family in the communism, but with the evolution of the society, with the industrialization of the society, the private properties were developed, and it was required to transfer these properties to the heirs, and so nuclear families were developed. Apart from the transfer of the property, according to Angel, there was a reason to control the female sexuality, and to assure the legitimate progeny. This monogamous nuclear families evolved. These were the reason, according to the nuclearization theory, for the evolution of a nuclear family. Next theory is joint nuclear continuum. That there is a continuous movement from joint to the nuclear families. In contrast to the theory of nuclearization, sociologists in India have argued that nuclear and joint family system in India has been seen on a continuum. K.M. Kapadia has highlighted the fact the families who have moved to cities maintain their ties to the joint families in the village or town. They do not function as an isolated or completely separate unit in city, even after they residentially separate themselves from the joint family and from a nuclear family. So, according to the Indian authors, Indian anthropologists, the joint nuclear family is a continuum. Even if the people move out from their villages or towns to their urban areas, but they still maintain the contact with the families in the villages or the town. They do not function isolated. They do not function in isolation, right? even though they reside in the they reside separately from the joint family, but still they are associated, they are linked with their joint family, and they work with consents with their family members. Kalanda, in her book Regional Difference in Family Structure in India, argued that joint family got strengthened due to the industrialization. According to her, the industrialization have been strengthening the bond of the joint family. In joint family, the economic condition has to be good enough to support a large number of its members, and industrialization provided this as a more hands were needed in a renewed family enterprise in which kin helped one another to striving for upward mobility. So according to the Kalinda, right? This industrialization helped helped in formation, helped in bonding of the joint family because of the economic development, because of the economic uh, help, right? This industrialization help because this industrialization provide hands provides more hands, or it provides more earning to the family, which helps in the upliftment of the family. Desai, in his famous work Some Aspects of Family in Mahua, points out that in Gujarat, a residential nuclear family is embedded in social, cultural, and other non-social environment which are not as same in the society in the West. So, according to the Desai, the nuclear family in India is not same as the nuclear family in the West. They are still binded with their joint families. They are dependent, these the nuclear families depends on the kinship. They maintain the kinship bonds. M.N. Srinivas, in his study of social change in India, rejects the theory of evolution from to nuclear family. He says even if figures of urban area shows a dwindling in size of the family, it doesn't mean that the joint family system is breaking down. According to Aman Srinivas, even if people are moving from their places to another places because of the n number of the reason, but it doesn't mean that the joint family system is breaking down. This movement is creating a strong bond between the kinship, between the kins. Urban families are frequently not autonomous units, but limbs of a bigger families situated elsewhere. Any crisis in the parents or offspring families will be faced as a common problem. Wedding, funerals, and other ceremonies are usually celebrated in parents' household. There is occasional transfer of a person from one family to another. Although, according to M. Srinivasan, although people are moving from one place to another, but it is not resulted in the breaking down of the family because because these families are still tied together. Majority of the functions like weddings and other ceremonies were usually celebrated in their ancestors' house, that is in the parents' household, although they moved to another place, right? And this occasionally transference of person from one place to the another, that is when the people move from one place to another, doesn't mean the breaking of the joint family. It is just like the nuclear family is just like a branch or limb of a joint family that is living somewhere else, right? Emergence of a new forms of family. Families have been changed and affected by multiple forces, like industrialization played an important role in the change of the family. Growing independence of the women played an important role in emergence of the new forms of the family. Rise in the level of education played an important role. Economic changes, legal regulation, and feminist critique and political discourse were some of the factors which impacted the families. That is industrialization, independence, women independence, a rise in the level of education, economic changes, legal regulations, feminist critique and political discourse all impacted the families and helped in the emergence of the new form of the families. Since 1970s, change in the structure of family has been taking place. There was emergence of a family like a single parent family, same sex family, or family by choice, and cohabitation without marriage. These form of families are referred to as the non-traditional families, as did not fit with the classical definition of family formed by biology or the alliance. See, there are the various factors which resulted in the emergence of the new form of the families. New form of families like single parent family, like family by choice, family of same sex, that is cohabitation without marriage, that is living relationship. All these families doesn't fit within the definition, the classical definition of the family. The classical definition of family is based on the biology or the alliance, that is family according to the classical definition. When the people are bind together either through birth or through affinal relationship, through marriage, then they form a family. But these types of the family, they didn't fit into the classical definition of the family. That is the classical definition, and the basis is definition is based on the marriage or birth. We'll discuss that some new forms of the family. First is family by choice. What is this family by choice? The term family we choose was used by Cat Western to describe a form of the kinship different to the biological family. Describe the families we create, suggest that individual has choice in formation of family. The family by choice is an illustration of the fact that biology is not only defining feature of the kinship. People can be kin without sharing the blood or the marital relationship. This family by choice or family we create has been described or was used by the Cat Cat Western, right? According to the Cat Western, that family by choice is not an illustration of the fact that there is a kinship bond, there is a kinship between there is a kinship on the basis of the biology, but people can begin without sharing the blood or the affinal relationship. That is, according to this family by choice, we make our family by our choice, although the members of family are not related by blood or through affinal relationship. This is family by choice. So, according to Western, this family by choice is an illustration of the fact that biology is not only defining feature of kinship. People can be kin without sharing blood or marital relationship. Kinship is based on love and enduring solidarity expected to be characteristic of the familial relationship. Rather than the relations by blood or affinal relationship, love and enduring solidarity are the characteristics of this kinship, of this family by choice, of this relationship. It also negates the idea of procreation based on heterosexual identities. Family is no longer seen only as a unit of reproduction, or rather, it can be non procreative unit. Such family ties, based on the ideology of choice and love, and stand in opposition to the biological model of kinship. The families of choice therefore emerges an important basis to the question the biological model heterosexual domain kinship, which failed to provide support to care to lesbian women and men. So, family by choice is that family which we create despite of which we create by not having any affinal or blood relationship. This family is based on the love and the enduring solidarity, and this negates the concept of procreation, that according to family by choice, a family is not a unit of reproduction or the procreation. It is not a necessary function of a family. A family can, people can form a family on the basis of love or enduring solidarity. And this opposes the biological model of this theory, or this type of a family opposes the biological model of the kinship. Next type of a family is live-in relationship. Live-in relationship, that is cohabitation in an arrangement whereby two adults decide to live together on a long-term permanent basis in an emotionally and sexually intimate relationship outside the wedlock of a marriage. So a live-in relationship where the two adults decide to live together without a wedlock. This is live-in relationship. There are a number of reasons that may govern the individual's preferences for live-in relationship. It finds its foundation in the fundamental right of an individual to have the liberty to choose his or her partner. Everyone has a liberty to choose his or her partner. For many, it has emerged the basis to assess the mutual compatibility or to establish a financial security prior to entering into the legalized wedlock. For some, it provides the escape from the marriage expenses, and thus unable to enter into the marital alliance may enter into the live-in relationship. That is, members of the same sex, interreligious or interracial groups live in relationship when two are live together without a wedlock. There could be n number of reasons. These types of family is known as live-in families, right? Next is surrogacy family. The term surrogacy family is used to refer to a family formed with the help of a third party, generally a woman who rents her womb to gestation of the child. The surrogate enters into the legal contract with the fertility clinic that after the delivery of a child she will have no claim or relations. Surrogacy family function as a traditional family, but the only difference is that notion of maternity is complicated. So next type of a family is surrogacy family. Surrogacy family when a woman rented or when a woman rents her womb for gestation of the child, and this type of a family is known as the surrogacy family. This family function as a traditional family. The difference is that the notion of maternity is complicated because they enter into the sign a contract that after the delivery the mother will not have any contact or a right on the child. Motherhood is not defined by the period of gestation but by the capacity to rent a womb. The absence of gestational link between mother and child does not affect their physical and emotional relationship. Surrogacy provides an opportunity to individuals who, due to the medical reason, cannot conceive to the same-sex partners as well as who want to bring up the children without necessarily marrying. Although there are certain factors, right? Uh, there are certain complications in this surrogacy, and uh, uh, government has taken step so that no one can use this surrogacy. People started misusing this surrogacy. Government has taken this step to stop the misuse of this surrogacy. But again, this is the surrogacy family. So there are certain types of the families which didn't fit into the classical definition of the families. These types of families are known as the new form of the families, like live-in relationship, surrogacy family, and the family by choice, right? So today we discuss the structure of the family, right? And in this, we discuss the various factors which are responsible for change in the structure of the family, right? Why there are changes in the family. We discussed about the types of the family. We discussed the types of the family on the basis of that size, right? On the basis of the generations, size is nuclear family, joint family, or on the basis of that is on the basis of what should we say, generation, two generation family, or the three generation family. Then we discuss why there are changes, the factors responsible for change in the family, like urbanization, industrialization are the factors, various economic factors, or the educational opportunities, employment opportunities, and various other factors are responsible. Discussed about the various theories like evolutionary theory, nuclearization theory, and the joint nuclear continuum theory, the theories of changes in the structure of the family. So we tried to understand by these theories why there is a change in the structure of family, right? In our next lecture, we'll discuss a new topic, that is reimagining families. That's all for today. Thank you very much. Namaskar.